in 2008, after seeing, kid after kid after kid after kid after kid who's being sent to me for ADHD, or honestly seeing patients who had, weird autoimmune diseases, right? Or seeing this extraordinarily high rate of asthma, and asking myself, what the heck is going on here? And then my colleague walked into my office and he said, "Hey, Dr. Burke, have you seen this?" And in his hand was a copy of the study called the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study. And literally, like, the top blew off of my head, right? I'll just say that, because this study was a study that was done by Kaiser Permanente and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And what they did was they asked 17,500 adults about their histories of something called adverse childhood experiences. And those include physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, physical or emotional neglect, a parent who had mental illness, substance dependent, so growing up in a household where someone had mental illness, substance dependent, incarceration, where your parents were separated or divorced, or where there was domestic violence, right? And what they found was mind-blowing. Two things. Number one, ACEs are incredibly common. So
adverse childhood experiences.
Yes, adverse childhood experiences that we now call ACEs. 67% of the population had at least one of these experiences, and 12.6%, so 1 in 8 individuals, had 4 or more of these ACEs. But if you had 4 or more of these ACEs, the other thing that they found was that there was a dose-response relationship between early adversity and health outcomes, right? And I just want to kind of lay this on the audience for a second. If you have 4 or more of these ACEs, your relative risk of ischemic heart disease, #1 killer in the United States of America, is 220%, right? For stroke, it's 190%. For chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it's 390%. For depression, it's 460%. For suicidality, it's 1,220%. And when I read that data, I'll be honest, I was pissed. Because I did my residency at Stanford, and no one ever taught me this information, and yet I was seeing child after child after child coming through my door with extremely high ACE scores, and I was never given the training in medical school or residency to say, okay, here is what we do about this.